Rumpelstiltskin. Imagine having to choose between your happiness and your biggest secret. Imagine everything you dream of, wealth, security, recognition, being just a step away if you're willing to pay the price. But what if that price is invisible, a debt that no one else sees? And what if one day someone comes to collect not money, not a promise, but your very essence? This story begins with a lie. To survive, a peasant's daughter lets the king believe she can turn straw into gold. The king, blinded by ambition, decides to test the girl. And so, the cycle of the pact begins. She has no way out, no allies, only despair and an impossible desire to escape. It is in this liminal moment between fear and the abyss that Rumpelstiltskin emerges. The stranger, the trickster, the master of impossible deals. He offers the miracle, but asks for something in return, more and more, until he gets what she holds most precious. In the tradition of myths, Jung would say that the trickster is not just a villain. He is the necessary challenge that forces the hero to grow. He embodies everything that consciousness tries to avoid: desire, lies, shadow, risk. But every time you accept a pact, you're agreeing to dance with your own shadow. Only those who have the courage to confront the trickster and name the mystery can break the cycle of hidden contracts. Today, we will journey through this dark fable together, unraveling each psychological layer, and show that perhaps every hidden secret, every unspoken name is an invitation to rewrite your own story. Get ready, because the secret to power begins with what you fear to reveal. The initial conflict and the pact, desire, lies, and the beginning of the labyrinth. Once upon a time, there was a world where the fear of starving to death created lies as powerful as hope itself. In a forgotten village, a poor peasant, trying to impress the king, lies, "My daughter can turn straw into gold." The king, greedy and driven by the desire for easy wealth, orders, "If your daughter is capable of this, bring her to the castle. I want to see the miracle happen, or she will be punished." Imagine yourself in the young woman's place, dragged from her home by a lie she didn't ask for, facing a king whose power is absolute, in a world where a mistake can be a sentence without appeal. How many times has an adult, a system, or an external power pressured you to prove something impossible, simply because they desired the triumph of a non-existent gift? A prisoner, locked in a room full of straw, the girl cries. The deadline is cruel. Only one miracle before dawn. Every minute is a test of survival. Either the lie turns to gold, or life becomes a sentence. Encounter with the shadow. According to Jung, it is when all seems lost that the shadow appears. In the darkness, Rumpelstiltskin emerges, small, eccentric, eyes gleaming with desire, knowledge from another world. He proposes a deal. "I can perform the miracle, but I'll charge a price." The girl hesitated, but she had no choice. She accepted, just for today, just out of fear of failure. Have you ever found yourself surrounded by problems so big that even a risky deal seems better than giving up? Have you ever negotiated out of desperation, even without understanding the consequences? With a magical touch, Rumpelstiltskin transforms straw into gold. The king enters, delighted by his sudden fortune, but soon wants more. Greed is never satisfied. The second circle of the covenant. New night, new room, even more straw. The demanding king. Turn everything into gold or you will lose your life. Once again, the trickster returns. This time, he asks for something more precious. A medallion, a sentimental object, or a family secret. Here, psychology begins to delve deeper. Each pact comes at a higher price. Every time the girl turns to the shadow, she gives up a part of herself. The trickster Rumpelstiltskin is the side of us that offers dangerous shortcuts, which seem helpful, but exact a high price for the addiction. Thus, We trade parts of our soul for magical solutions. What have you sacrificed to escape immediate risk, only to realize its true value later? The final test, all or nothing. In the third quarter, the straw piles up in mountains. The king offers the greatest prize, marriage to his daughter and ascension to power, if he can transform all the straw into gold. Utter despair. Now, there are no more objects to negotiate, only promises. Rumpelstiltskin appears, smiling. I will grant you the ultimate miracle, but tomorrow you must give me what you value most, your unborn child. The girl, blinded by panic and the allure of power, accepts. The gold appears, the king keeps his word, but a seed of debt grows in the heart of the new queen. What if that pact, made in the shadows, comes back to collect its price much later, when everything seems perfectly resolved? The beginning of the story reveals a dangerous cycle of power, lies, despair, and deals with the shadows. Jungian psychology teaches that every pact with the trickster is an invitation to transformation, but it demands, sooner or later, a confrontation with the hidden truth. What would you have done in the farmer's daughter's place? Have you ever placed too much trust in someone who seemed to have all the answers? What pact from the past still haunts your present, demanding resolution? The beginning of a new life and the seed of fear. The farmer's daughter is now queen. The castle gleams in gold. The king flaunts his fortune. Parties echo into the night, but deep in the queen's heart, fear grows silently. She carries an invisible debt, that promise sealed in panic, to give her first child to the stranger who saved her. Months pass and the king has no idea about the pact made in the shadows. The people celebrate her, but she lives between fear and guilt. Each fake smile, each sleepless night. What secret of yours has grown so much that it contaminates every victory, every moment that should be filled with happiness? The child is born. The trickster returns. The baby is born, bringing light to the castle. The queen feels the instinct to protect with her own life, to love without measure. But then the past resurfaces. On a dark night, Rumpelstiltskin returns, demanding payment. The day has come. Hand over the child to me. The queen's desperation explodes. She begs, offering gold, riches, lands, jewels. Everything is rejected with a laugh. What they promised me wasn't gold, but a future. Have you ever felt cornered by a promise from the past that you can't undo, erase, only confront? The secret grows deeper, negotiation and a call to instinct. Rumpelstiltskin, in a trickster move, offers one last chance. If you find out my name in 3 days, you can keep your son. The search journey begins. The queen sends messengers throughout the kingdom, collects endless lists of names, consults wise men, magicians, beggars. No one offers an answer. Here, the search for the name becomes a metaphor. Jung would say that finding the name is confronting one's own shadow. Every answer is hidden, and only those who descend into the unconscious can discover the secret. With each failed night, the queen's anguish intensifies. The castle grows dark, the king is bewildered, and the people speculate. In your life, have you ever sought a desperate solution to save someone you love? Have you ever felt that the more you search, the further away the exit seems? The search in the depths encounters with hidden wisdom. On the third day, near the final delivery, a messenger returns with bizarre news. He saw, near the forest, a small man dancing in a circle, singing a song. Today I will bake, tomorrow I will drink, then I will bring the son to the queen, because nobody knows, nor can anyone imagine. Rumpelstiltskin is my real name. The secret has been revealed. The queen, heart racing, renewed, and prepares for the confrontation. Wisdom always resides on the margins, in excess, in the symbolic forest. Only those who dare to step outside the norm find answers, and sometimes they emerge at the precise moment of loss. Have you ever had a breakthrough moment? When all seemed lost, something unexpected brought the solution that no one else saw. On the decisive night, Rumpelstiltskin arrives triumphant. The queen feigns testing names: Bartholomew, Casimir, Balthazar. The trickster laughs, mocks, and dances. Even the queen herself exclaims, "Could his name be Rumpelstiltskin?" The shock is absolute. Rumpelstiltskin roars, jumps, destroys everything around him, furious, devastated by the loss of the secret. But what happens when you give a name to what threatened you? Who holds the power when the secret is finally revealed? The spiral of secrecy. The more you try to hide, delay a dark pact, the more it grows. Jung. To integrate the shadow, one must name it, confront it, and survive the confrontation. This is the path to individuation. Trickster. A force that compels the hero to grow by providing new answers. What secret did you need to name in order to be free? At what point did confrontation turn into liberation, not destruction? The hidden power of the name. Magic, language, and the impossible. Since ancient times, names have carried power. In the tradition of fables, knowing the true name of a supernatural being, a demon, or a trickster, means gaining power over it. Names are more than words. They are keys to the invisible, to the unconscious, to the mystery. The queen, upon discovering the name, Rumpelstiltskin, she not only saves her son, she reclaims autonomy over his destiny, breaks the cycle of dependency, confronts the trickster, and transforms her life. What would happen if you could name everything that scares you? Fear, desire, trauma, shadow. Does the word have the power to set free? Jung describes language as a central tool in the individuation process. To name feelings and dangers is to make conscious what was previously only a phantom. The journey of the search, archetypes and discovery. The story shows that the path to a name is full of effort, searching, and collective wisdom. The queen only triumphs when she sets aside her pride, accepts help, listens to the people, and opens her own vulnerability to the unknown. The trickster forces the ego out of its comfort zone to seek answers outside of common rationality. In archetypal tradition, a name is a symbol of truth. Only those who recognize their own secret can transcend the cycle of repetition. In many cultures, secret names protect against evil. In Egyptian, Babylonian, or indigenous myths, knowing the true name of a god is to stop him. Naming suffering is the first step to healing. In your story, what secret only became a cure when it found a voice, a form, a word, the power to reveal? In the confrontation with Rumpelstiltskin, there is no physical battle, only the power of language. The trickster screams, writhes, tries to undo the pact, but it's too late. Saying the name breaks the spell. Here the story teaches, hidden power lies not in gold nor in magic, but in the courage to name the truth. The cycle of secrecy ends when you agree to shed light on what was only shadow. In your life, have you ever needed to reveal something secret, even for fear of losing everything? And in naming it, did you feel power or vulnerability? The triumph over Rumpelstiltskin is the victory over the unintegrated unconscious. The queen becomes mistress of her own destiny. The trickster disappears, not through violence, but because words break the spell. To individuate oneself is above all to become aware of that which seemed impossible to deal with. But what happens after the victory? What to do when the shadow fades, the secret dissolves, and reconstruction begins? To name is to differentiate, to choose, to limit, and to liberate. Rumpelstiltskin, like all mythical tricksters, only exists in voiceless territories and can only be defeated in clarity. Deep questions for you to answer for yourself, but if you want, you can say them in the comments. What needs to be named within you today? What word was missing from your story? What name are you afraid to say? The definitive confrontation. We arrived at the royal chamber, the scene of the final showdown. Everything seemed still. The queen, her son, the trickster dancing in a circle, anxious, almost triumphant. For a moment, the fate of two lives hangs in the balance, redemption or loss. The queen holds her son tightly. The people watch in silence. With a firm voice, she looks at the little man. His name is Rumpelstiltskin. The cry that follows is not just one of anger, but of defeat, of the dissolution of everything that had dominated that story from the beginning. Have you ever experienced a moment when speaking the truth made the impossible crumble, and the house was finally freed from the ghost that haunted it? The shadow revealed, from trickster to liberation. With his name revealed, Rumpelstiltskin goes mad. It roars, jumps, scratches the ground until it creates a hole and disappears without a trace. In the tradition of fairy tales, it is the symbolic scene of the dissolution of the shadow, when that which was secret, fear, and threat finally loses its power. Jung teaches us, the shadow only dominates while it is hidden. When named, confronted, and integrated, it loses control and can finally be assimilated into consciousness. The queen falls to her knees, exhausted. Her son is now protected not by gold, but by the very recognition of what was hidden. The king, unaware of the entire pact, sees only the restored calm. Have you ever confronted your shadow and by naming that which paralyzed you, felt relief or a certain emptiness? Do you believe that all truth once exposed can be worked on and healed? With the trickster gone, the kingdom undergoes symbolic purification. The queen learns that surviving the pact is not just a matter of cleverness, but of courage to face what she feared. At the psychological level, we see the complete Jungian cycle, called to the challenge encounter with the shadow pact despair, a journey through the name final comparison, rebirth and reintegration. The queen is no longer who she once was. Now she has maturity, understanding, and the power to guide the kingdom away from its old fears. In other myths, defeating the trickster also liberates the community. The secret, after all, is not just personal, but collective. After naming the shadow, what is the next challenge? Does the cycle end? Or is it just the beginning of new searches? Jung concludes, true individuation is the courage to cross the forest, name oneself Rumpelstiltskin, preserve what is precious, and return to tell the story to others. The story becomes a rite of passage. The girl who survives the pact, the nights of despair, and the trickster is reborn as the queen of her own destiny. Your son grows up in a world where the shadow has at least once been named and confronted. What secret of yours needs to be worked on, not kept hidden any longer? What does it mean to be queen of your own destiny in your narrative? The story ends but leaves things open-ended. Will new pacts emerge? The trickster has disappeared, or does he only inhabit other forms, other fears, other names? The story invites the viewer to reflect. Does your own Rumpelstiltskin lurk, or has he already been revealed? Cycles of secrecy and transformation. The story ends, but the experience remains. In the silence of the castle, a truth echoes. Every secret kept tends to grow and exact its price. The queen, now healed by the confrontation, realizes that power lies not in avoiding pacts, but in not running away from what needs to be named. And you, have you realized that some parts of your story deserve to become words, not just shadows? In-depth psychology, the Rumpelstiltskin cycle repeats itself in many myths, lives, and choices. A promise made to survive, a secret hidden by fear, a trickster who amplifies the dilemma, an ordeal that seems unbearable, a desperate search for a way out. And the time has come to name, confront, and integrate. With each cycle, we grow. Like the queen, we gain maturity and autonomy. The story became a video. It became a debate. It became an invitation to personal action. Each viewer carries their own nights of despair, unspoken pacts and inner tricksters. But there is hope. In the tradition of great tales, the rite only ends when you share your story, name ancient secrets, and return the acquired knowledge to the community. Which of your pacts has not yet been named? What secret are you afraid to face? Have you ever beaten a personal trickster? What was that moment like? What word do you still need to have the courage to say? It becomes collective alchemy. What you reveal transforms others. Gold is not just what you earn, it's what you give back. Discuss your theory, your pact, your secret, your experience of naming your own shadow. Tag someone who needs to hear this. Share it with anyone looking for answers. Sign up for more journeys through the universe of stories, archetypes, and depth psychology. Here, each story is an invitation to draw new maps of the mind. Sharing is the hero's final rite of passage. Only then does the secret cease to imprison and begin to liberate. Continue your journey. The story concludes, but the challenges do not end. Behind every fear, there is another secret waiting to be named. The trickster can change his face. A new pact, a new lie, a new crossing. Life demands, at each stage, identify, name, transform, move forward. Next episode. Which story do you recognize yourself in? What other secrets, pacts, names, and shadows need to be revealed? Phrase final story brand. When you finally name what scares you, you not only save yourself, but you also create space for others to break free. When you're finished, remember, not all secrets need to be kept. Sometimes facing it is the greatest sign of maturity and power. May this space become a room for transformation. Listen, share, be reborn. Tell your story. Here, all of Rumpelstiltskin's qualities can finally be integrated.